Hi, and welcome again to Writing 205. I'm here to give you a little overview of our course content and our course structure. I think knowing this will help you know what to expect and know how to succeed. So what are we going to be writing this term? We're going to have 4 projects, 4 papers. The first one is a summary, where we're going to learn how to accurately report to others what someone says. This is a really important skill, and you'll see it's at the heart of all of the other papers we're going to be writing. So first one's going to be a summary. It'll just be a paragraph long, and that's paper 1, reporting what they say. The second paper, as you can see, is going to contain a summary in it. So we're again going to report what someone says, but once we accurately can say what someone says, what they say, we're going to be able to critique that by writing about what I say about what they say. So do we agree with them? Do we think they have enough evidence? Are they making a good case or not? And that will be the critique. The third paper will be an argument. And this is where you're going to be able to say something of your own. So it's going to be what you say, but in order to do that well, you have to account for what other people on the other side of the argument also say. So again, within that argument, you're going to have a summary and a critique, and you're also going to be making your own case. And then the fourth paper is going to be the research paper. It's going to be the same as P3 as the argument, only it's going to be bigger. It's going to have more research. It's going to be 8 to 10 pages long. So the point values, I think this one is 25 points. P2 and P3 are 100 points each, and then P4 is going to be 250 points. So that'll be the big one. How are we going to write this term? Well, I make 2 assumptions about writing, and I'd like you to make the same assumptions as you write. You probably went over both of these in Writing 120 if you took that here at Westchester. The first is that writing is a process. Writing essays is not like writing a grocery list or a text where you don't really think it through and draft things. It involves ideas, and we want to take those ideas through the pre-writing stage, the drafting, revising, editing, and then finally to the publishing stage. And we are going to be doing that process for all of our papers this semester. The second assumption is that writing is collaborative. And again, you don't really need to collaborate on a grocery list or a text or a tweet, but when we're writing papers, you want to get other people's input. So you're going to be working with me, you're going to be working with your peers, you're going to be working with the Writing Center, and all of those collaborative elements are going to help strengthen your writing and your ideas, you'll see. Why are we going to write this way, this term? Why bother with the writing process? Isn't it just easier to write one draft, spell check it, and be done? Sure, but again, we're writing not just to report on ideas, but writing is helping us to think things through. And specifically, when we're dealing with research writing, we're going to be looking at things from 2 different angles, from both sides of an argument. You can see in this image here that both of these angles are true, right? You look at this shape from this direction, and then the shadow will be a square, and you look at it from this direction, and it will be a circle, right? So we want to weigh both sides, given a particular set of circumstances. How much time do we have to solve this problem? What are our resources? How much money do we have? And figure out what do we know, and what is the best answer for this particular situation. Is it this direction or this direction? This side of the argument or that counter argument? So that's why we're going to be using the writing process will help us, and the research process help us to see things from multiple points of view and decide which one is the better answer for this particular situation that you're dealing with. So here's an example. I have lupus, of the example of the difference between true and truth. I have lupus, which is a chronic autoimmune disease, and obviously I'm doing very well with it, but there was a time I've read that doctors used to look at lupus, and knowing what they knew at the time, that particular situation, the best treatment for lupus patients who frequently had seizures, and I went through those seizures, was to put them in insane asylums. And that was the best they could do to keep the patients and those around them safe at that time. That was the truth at that point. That was true. Luckily, treatments today have come a long way. I was never put in an insane asylum. and I did receive lots of medications, and I actually went through chemotherapy and surgery, and that's what's considered the best answer or the truth today. We can't, so things change, right? Our idea of truth changes, of what's the best answer changes, and that's fine. And the way we get to what is the best answer is we look at both sides of an argument, or all sides of an argument. What are all people saying about what's the best way to answer this question? We need to look at multiple positions and then weigh the evidence on each position and figure out which one is the best. And that's what we're doing. We're thinking through things, through complex topics this semester, and we're using writing to help us to figure that out. It's really a cool process, actually. Okay, how's the course structured? Well, we have weekly modules, and they're you can see them on D2L, and they're organized into units by each paper, P1, 2, 3, and 4, and then the last unit is the theory of writing. Each week builds on the previous ones, so it's really important that you attend regularly. It's going to be very difficult for you to succeed in this class if you sort of blank out for a week or two. So please be sure to attend online regularly and the chat sessions. You'll see that you can't see the whole semester, but you can see each week as the course progresses. That's to kind of keep us on the same track. But if you want a little preview, each week on D2L is going to open the Thursday prior. So this coming up Thursday, next week will open if you want to work a little bit ahead. But I don't want people to work all the way ahead. It just doesn't serve the class well in our discussions. Due dates are generally on Tuesdays and Fridays. There might be a couple of exceptions with a peer review here or there, but generally speaking, you can be sure that things will be due on Tuesdays and on Fridays. And then every week starting next week, you're going to have a reading quiz. That's to make sure you do the reading. It will open Tuesday at midnight, and it will be due Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. You can't make these up, so be sure to do them. And they're worth 5 points each. They're very low stakes. But they're a good way of keeping people engaged. And then finally, we'll have lots of discussion boards. That's where we interact with each other mostly, the asynchronous interactions. Starting next week, one of you, or maybe two in some weeks, are going to lead the discussion board and moderate them. And I'll give you instructions on how to do that. But be sure by this Friday to sign up to be a discussion board leader for a week that works for your schedule. Okay, how am I going to tell that you're attending if we're in an online course when I can't actually see you? Well, there are two ways we're going to interact and two ways that attendance is going to be taken. The first is asynchronously, not at the same time. So this is mostly going to be on the discussion boards, and we have discussion boards where we're going to be talking about things, and we're going to have discussion boards for our peer reviews. So I will see you in those discussion boards when you participate in them. So make sure that you do regularly and that you make some good concrete contributions to those discussion boards and to the peer reviews. The other way we're going to interact is synchronously at the same time, and we're going to do that via Zoom. It's an online meeting website app, and it's really easy. You'll see, I'll give you a link, and we're all basically going to be in the same online room together. We'll talk with each other, we'll see each other, we'll interact with each other, we'll go over assignments together, just like in a regular classroom, but you're going to be on your screen. And I'll take attendance there too. On those, be sure that you make some kind of contribution on the chat function, as well as talking, so that I can make sure that it's clear that you actually were present and participating. For both of these, it's much better to complete work on time, even if it's not your best work, than to submit it late. So for the discussion boards, for submitting documents, outlines, make sure you do things as much as you can on time. Really, I don't take late work because it just doesn't serve the progress of the course. So even if it's not your best work, submit something. It's much, much, much better grade-wise and in terms of you participating than turning work in late. All right, so hopefully you think that this is going to be exciting. I love teaching this class, but if you determine that this is not really for you, just a couple of dates to keep in mind. By this Friday is the last day to drop the class, and if you want to withdraw and get that W on your transcript, February 17th is the last day. But if you're going to do either of those, talk to me first. Chances are you're probably doing better than you think, if you think that you're doing really badly. So definitely talk with me first before you do anything like that. Okay, there are some resources that will help you. First is me. Don't ever hesitate to email me. There's my email address. I will respond as fast as I can. And then there's also office hours. So this is an online course, but since I'm on campus, if you happen to be on campus, feel free to come to my face-to-face office hours. I'm in Main Hall 520 at these times. And then in addition, I'll always have an online office hour on Thursdays from 1 to 2 at this link. You can find the link on the first page, on the home page of our D2L page also. And you can always, for either face-to-face or online, you can make an appointment if those times don't work for you. So just email me and we can set something up that's mutually convenient. If you're having trouble with tech stuff, all of this is in your syllabus. It's on D2L, but the tech support here at Westchester is fantastic. I can help you with some things, but these guys are definitely experts. So use these contacts. You can always pop into this PowerPoint, or again, it's on D2L, it's on the syllabus. Okay, that was it. So that's the overview, and welcome to the class. I look forward to working with you guys. Take care.